Biden and his little sweetheart plea deal and
Oh my God.
how that's fallen apart.
The thing is like, as much as I think Hunter Biden's like stuff, as far as it relates to Joe Biden, I think is a nothing burger. But he did get a sweetheart deal, and that kind of raises some eyebrows. Like when you grant someone immunity in perpetuity, that's that's ridiculous. Like,
Yeah, for anything that the DOJ has investigated, and it
I
doesn't
mean,
matter if Donald Trump becomes president. No, you're not allowed to invest. There's nothing.
I
Don't look
mean,
behind the curtain.
DOJ effectively gave him like DOJ effectively pardoned him because his dad couldn't without looking bad. And I mean, I think the right is right to be upset about it, but again, I don't think they have enough to actually like prosecute Joe Biden over it. That's just my stance. Like,
Maybe,
mhm,
but what's funny, so when you talk
mhm,
about pardoning, so there was somebody that asked Karine Jean-Pierre in some press conference, Is the big guy gonna pardon Hunter?" And
mhm,
she said no, like, she shut that down right away,
mhm,
that but if you wanna talk about Hunter's ties and, like, the big guy actually being in China, like, tied to China,
mhm.
like, that's where all of it is. I honestly don't really care about the gun charge, like, yeah,
You
the
don't care about
hypocrisy is funny to look at. I don't care about
right.
the drugs. I don't even really care about the tax evasion. The only reason I care about the tax evasion is how much it ties Joe or the big guy to Hunter and what amounts of money he's been taking from foreign countries.
Let's say first off, I don't really care about tax evasion because 99% of business owners in this country are guilty of tax evasion. Like, I don't care. I do think you have a point that it's weird that all this money is coming in from China, but
And
again,
Ukraine.
well, more or less China. I think Burisma is just it's also nothing. Like you kept trying to tie Joe Biden to Burisma, you couldn't do it. Now it's moved to China. I think China is a developing economy. I think that they're challenging the U.S.'s economic dominance in the area, and most U.S. businesses are now looking to expand to China if they're not already there. So again, I think Hunter Biden's making a pretty savvy business move for an idiot. But I, again, I don't think you have enough to actually get Joe for it. Like,
So you're saying selling the United States to China is a savvy business move?
dude, I, I mean, don't ask me. Ask any business in the United States. Ask them where their stuff's made. Ask them where the biggest market is now that they're trying to get into. It's China.
I I don't
Like,
disagree, like, China
like,
is definitely the next superpower, like, I think they're gonna supplant the United States,
right.
honestly, if they
And the
haven't.
thing, and the thing is like we can sit here and try to blame Joe Biden. We can blame Donald Trump. We can blame, but honestly, I think it lies with Nixon. When Nixon opened up uh, U.S. businesses to China and used China as our factory, and then all of a sudden China has a booming middle class who has money that US companies want and they're trying to sell to. I mean, it's a savvy business decision to move to China. I wish it wasn't the case, but it is. Like,
It's a savvy business decision to move your corporation and say and not even move your corporation, but just to open up your target demographic and say,
right,
instead of focusing on 330,000,000 people, I wanna focus on 1,000,000,000 people. Sure, that's savvy business, but to
right,
try to say the same thing about Hunter Biden, that what he's doing is savvy business moves by telling like, basically selling the United States to China. "No, I'm gonna give you favor with my dad, who's
hmm
the big guy."
Do you
I don't think that's savvy business moves, I think
do-
that's corruption.
but that was back when Joe Biden was vice president, not when he was president, right? So let's just
Okay.
say, like, let's just say that it's true. Let's say all of it's true, right? If he's saying, "Oh, I'm going to get you favor with the vice president," Obama could just override that, right? He doesn't have to listen to Joe. Like,
So you mean like the Burisma deal that you say is a nothing burger, and
mhm,
then when the whatever head lawyer, head attorney for Ukraine starts looking into
yeah,
Burisma, starts
the
looking
the
into
the prosecutor that
yeah, Victor
showboated
Shokin.
about getting fired.
Once he starts looking into that stuff, the vice president comes in and says, "I'm gonna withhold $1,000,000," and the Ukrainian government says, "You're not allowed to do that, that's the president's decision," and
Mhm.
Joe Biden just makes a, "Yeah, call him. Call him. You're not getting the billion unless you fire this guy."
All I'm
That
saying
vice
is,
presidential power?
about to say, hold on, hold on. So what you're saying is like, all right, so Joe Biden supposedly did this to protect his son, right? Like, oh, this company's looking for Burisma. Now you're saying that the conspiracy's gotten wider. It's not just Joe Biden, it's Obama too. Like they were all in it to protect Hunter Biden. I'm just not
Mm,
buying it. I'm not
and
buying it.
but I'm not saying
Like,
that Obama like
mhm,
I think Obama's hands are definitely dirty and definitely very bloody, but
mhm.
I'm not saying that Obama was pulling the strings on Joe Biden and this whole deal. I think it's not a stretch to say that Joe Biden was just bluffing. That if they did call up, if they did have a direct line to Obama to try to look into this, but I
I mean,
think the big guy is still making plays that he doesn't have the power to make.
I mean, you're assuming that Joe Biden's the big guy. I mean,
Oh, I'm gonna call him the big guy going forward. I
going forward. All right.
yeah, I kind of like the
I'm gonna
LGBT
I'm gonna
QAnon.
contact the DNC and have them put the big guy on campaign posters because I think the big guy is a wonderful name. Vote for the big guy.
Yeah, start
Let-
leaning like Cocaine
let's
Mitch.
do that.
Just
Yeah,
lean into the
yeah. I
nickname.
mean, just cocaine Mitch, and like Mitch never ever came out against it. He actually, I mean, it seemed to benefit him. So I mean, just lean into it. Just be the big guy.
That's what there was the T-shirts I think with. I don't remember if it was like money raining on them or what the
Right,
like
right. The
Cocaine Mitch
big guy.
T-shirts were, but yeah, shoot, that should have been the background. I was looking for Hunter Biden, like just
Right,
to have
right,
something like on the
right, right,
like that Hunter Biden with the with the
Mm,
selfie where he's got the
right,
cigarette and like
right,
a crack pipe.
right. I mean, I just think it's interesting that like they really couldn't get anything on Joe, so they're trying to use Hunter against Joe. And I think the American voter is seeing that for the most part. So
N- So what I think the American voter is seeing is that the Hunter Biden laptop, that information was suppressed in the 2020 election.
Mhm.
There's no bones about that. Facebook, Twitter, all of big tech colluded to
Well, was it
suppress the Hunter
suppressed?
Biden
Yes.
laptop.
Why was it suppressed? It's because it came from one media outlet and couldn't be verified by any other. So yeah, you can say big tech colluded, but I think all of them saw the same thing, which is like, oh, this is one media outlet saying one thing that may or may not be true.
But the reason that they couldn't verify it wasn't because they tried to verify it and oh, we came up with nothing. It was they weren't allowed to verify it. And
Well,
that's a big difference.
that's the thing. Big tech wasn't not allowed to verify. And what it was they went, okay, well, what other news organization is talking about this? And it was literally no others.
No,
So like,
what it was
mhm,
the FBI telling big tech, the
mhm,
FBI saying, "Hey, we can't confirm that this is a real laptop. We can't confirm that this
okay.
isn't Russian disinformation." And then leaving it up to big tech when the FBI knew that it was legit.
Well, that's the thing is like when you open the door to censorship, and this is something that we do agree on, when you open the door to censorship of any type, it allows for this type of abuse, right? Like because we were all afraid of Russia meddling in the election, all of a sudden it became okay for us to just any story anywhere at any time had to be reviewed before it was posted online, which is insanity, right? So like I'm not pro censorship, but I do understand like the thought process as to why big tech was in the position they were in. So I mean, you're right on the censorship. I just don't think it was big tech that was behind it. I think this was a process problem more than anything else.
Yeah, and you might
Mhm.
it wouldn't take a lot of convincing to get me to say no, it's not big tech. It's really the FBI that's at fault and these
Right.
agencies that are telling big tech this is what you need to censor. That might be the bigger problem.
I mean, I think both me and you can agree that like the NSA is a problem in this country, right? Like the NSA and the amount of power that they hold, like this is just an extension of that. Like they proved the concept by using the NSA to monitor all our phone calls. Now they're using the FBI to monitor all of social media and issuing takedown notices and things like that. Like this is just another step in that chain.